Like you said, he's got 3 rings, right? And just to clarify, none of those rings are with Toronto, right?
Is Fraser Minton going to have more points than Slafkovsky this year? Fraser Minton sucks at hockey. This guy might not even be an NHLer, so we got to settle down on that one.
Adelaide, no. Minus 160 on will they show her holding a drink in her hand.
They are 2 points behind the St. Louis Blues in the wild card, and they are.
Oh, the Blues are dog water. The Blues suck. And the Blues are the worst of those 4 teams that I mentioned by a mile.
And
they're not a good hockey team.
Care, like have some set of balls, have some response, have some pride for what the hell goes on the ice. It's so absurd.
I'm looking forward to the parade, but that's going to be later in the year.
I'd rather have so money in that than have Arbit Soderblom. I would rather stack a bunch of garbage that I have in the corner of my room over here than have Arbit Soderblom in that. He's
April 4th, welcome back to Edgework, presented by Stacks. I'm Zack Phillips, joined here by the cleanup crew on Thursday morning. Our guy, Rusty Bill, as well as So Money, to help break down tonight's 9 NHL games on the schedule. We'll give out our best bets. We'll preview the games. We'll answer questions from the chat. And as well, one of the most important things for today, given that we have the watch along here today, we have a poll up in the chat. So if you're watching on YouTube live, if you're not, if you're watching on podcast, we apologize you missed out on it, but there's just another reason to go over to YouTube. If you can, vote on the poll for which game we follow along with, and I have to drink the eggs too tonight for every goal scored. So make sure to vote in the poll there. Put your thoughts in the chat. But before we can get into anything, before we can get into thoughts, opinions, questions, whatever, I want to make sure that if you guys didn't know, now you know you need to sign up at the Stacks Betting Exchange. If you're sick of getting limited and profiled, Stacks is a unique sports betting exchange that offers higher limits and better pricing. Stacks offers a fair and real-time marketplace for users to bet on the outcome of sporting events. Offering better odds in a peer-to-peer marketplace, Stacks is the best option for anyone who wants to wager on live sports. Make sure to add Stacks to your list of outs and sign up today. You can get commission-free trading when you sign up now. The option is yours at Stacks. Gentlemen, I'm going to open this up to you right away. We'll get into the games more specifically. We'll go through each of them, get your bets, get your thoughts, your opinions, whatever. But I want to give some people more time to vote in this chat, in this poll, and maybe have some informed opinions from some people who know what the hell they're talking about. There's 5 games here. We've narrowed it down to 4. No one seemed to have interest in me doing this challenge to the Boston Carolina game, so we closed it down from the 5-7 o'clock games to 4 of them here. Russ, you've been our overs guy. You're the overs guy here on the Thursday morning show, kind of nailing those all season long. Is there a game tonight that's standing out to you in the 7 o'clock slate between Florida, Ottawa, Tampa, Montreal, Pittsburgh, Washington, New York, Columbus that you're going, that's the one that's going to have a lot of goals, and that's the one the boys should be following along with?
Yeah, I've been looking at this since you posted it yesterday. There's a couple of games that I'm kind of torn between. I think they're the most popular ones, really, between that Habs game and Lightning, and as well as the Panthers and the Sens game. I have those both totaled about the same. Both of them are right around 7 or so for me, just under 7. Not either. Neither of them are enough for me to make a play, but I'm a little bit torn between them. I think that that Habs Lightning game is probably going to be the most popular pick. But as Rob Pizzola posted on the in the Twitter there, I could see the Panthers game getting out of hand as well. Who knows? This Panthers team has not looked the same recently. But I think with Jonas Johansson or Tompkins in goal for the Lightning, I think that's the way I would go. You're avoiding Montembeault as well. I think Caden Primo is confirmed for the Habs. So you're getting backup goalies in both of those, 2 pretty bad defenses. The one issue is the Lightning have not been able to generate a ton of offense on their own. So I'm a little bit torn, but I guess I think I would go with the Lightning Habs probably.
That one feels like fairly volatile to me. I feel like that one we're going to have an opportunity to have like a 6-5 finish, or it's going to just be a shocker. We're going to walk away with 2 backup goalies who have 40 saves each, and it's 2-1. But yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah. The poll is up there. Sorry, Russ, go ahead.
No, I think you're right, but I think more so I do envision a high event game. Montreal's offense has been pretty good recently, and especially if we get Jonas Johansson, everyone knows how we feel about him on this show. He could easily give up 6 goals, by himself, and and then this game just gets crazy, and by the end of the night, Zach's drinking 10 eggs or something.
Oh, that's not what I need. So, Money, is there a game that's sticking out to you that you think I should be following?
Yeah, so I agree with you that that Tampa Bay game could be volatile, right? So the way that I look at it is that it's not the maximum number of goals that I want for you on the eggs. It's I want to establish a floor, right? So
Sure.
because the Tampa Bay Montreal game is so volatile, you're right. It could be two backup goalies, and like Tampa Bay plays a different way with uh with Johansson as well, and they're kind of getting it together defensively. We know we kind of know what we're going to get out of Montreal. That Florida Ottawa game, it might not go over, but we should get at least 4 goals in that game,
Sure.
right? Probably 5, right? So there's a more solid floor established in that Florida Ottawa game. So that's why I would choose the Florida Ottawa game, because I want to guarantee at least 4 eggs. And that's the way that we're going there.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, if I would have just taken a chance at my life with just eating something that's not like recommended, like that's like the 4 like drinking the eggs is just disgusting, man.
This was suggested by my roommates. I said, you know what, that's probably pretty good. We've seen it on YouTube before. We've seen other people do this challenge or these types of challenges. Told Moretto, he said, yeah. Talk to Rob. Rob escalated it from like, oh, here's a set number to you got to do as many as there are goals scored. So
wait, Rob escalated something?
Yeah. Yeah, shocker. Yeah, so that's how that got there. Well, right now, the leader in the clubhouse in terms of which game people want it to be, if you can vote in the poll in the chat there live, is the Penguins Capitals game, actually, by a little bit, but that's the game that people have chosen the most as of right now. So make sure to vote throughout the show. At the very end, whichever one the chat has picked as the most will be the game that we follow here tonight. So make sure to go get your votes in. But if something stands out, if you haven't made a decision yet, well, we're going to get into the games here tonight, and maybe your vote will be swung, or you'll have an opinion one way or another here. Let's get into the games. Let's get into our best bets, and let's start in Washington, where the Washington Capitals are hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins here tonight. Washington -102, the Penguins -108, best price available. We're seeing some 5.5s out there on the board right now, but that's obviously moving towards the 6s, and now we're kind of getting into a territory with more 6s than we're getting 5.5s. Russ, what are your thoughts on this game tonight? Do you have a bet for us here?
Yeah, this should be one of the best games of the night, probably the marquee game. We have been waiting, Money and I have both been waiting to play on this Pens team, and the last week or so, they have actually gotten it together pretty well right down the stretch. Who's to say if it's too little too late or not? But I think that the Pittsburgh Penguins right around -110-ish is a fantastic play. This has moved a little bit. It was plus money yesterday, so I would have loved to grab that, but the market is in agreement with us here, and it hasn't moved a ton. Probably play this right up to -115 or so. My numbers have closer to -125 on the Pens here. A couple different reasons. As I said, this Pens team is playing a lot better recently. Their offense has gotten it figured out. Still struggling a little bit on defense, but this is against a Washington team who struggles on both offense and defense, lately. I would say the one thing that I have, we've talked about and that concerns me a little bit is Charlie Lindgren in net for the Caps. He's been just playing awesome over the last month or so. But I think that some of that playing time and some of that fatigue is starting to get to him a little bit. He's allowed over 5 goals the last 2 of the last 3 games. So I think, he's just playing more minutes than he's used to. So I can kind of envision him slowing down a little bit against a Pens team who's top 10 in expected goals for rate. And then look at some of the narrative stuff here. The Pens are 3 points back from Washington in the wild card race. And, they've been playing well, 4-1 in their last 5. And Washington's coming in on a 3-game losing streak, kind of just trying to barely hold on to that wild card spot, doing all they can. But I think this is a huge game for both teams, obviously. But I like the Pens here on the road. Anything better than -115 is a good play, I think.
There's a lot better than -115 out there right now, so people should be able to get that no matter what books you're on. We recommend doing it on Stacks, but we'll grab -108, best price available. And so, Money, you're in agreements with this pick here.
Yeah, completely. I think here we are again on the Penguins, right? We've kind of come full circle. We started very high on them. They went through stretches where they got no goaltending. They went through stretches where they couldn't play a lick of defense. Slightly disagree with Russ in the sense that I do think that Penguins have tightened it up defensively. I think that was that was their focus, especially the last couple of weeks. I think that their shot and quality chance suppression has really improved, and they're starting to get goaltending now. Surprisingly, it's from Nedeljkovic, right? So it's not great goaltending, but this team never needed outstanding goaltending. They needed goaltending to be good enough with a good defensive structure, because we all know they can generate offense. So that's kind of what they're getting right now. I did play the Penguins. I think that number is going to move. So I would play that a little bit earlier. The other thing too is that I played also the Penguins to make the playoffs. I got 6-1. I'm still seeing it plus 500, plus 550. So about 5-1. It's still out there. So I would recommend that as well, especially before tonight's game, because if the Penguins win and they pull within 1 point, that number is going to cater. So like the Penguins, it's not necessarily a play against Washington. It's more of with what we found with these teams within that block of teams, like they get hot, you got to ride them, and then they just go into the tank as well. So, and that's characteristic of a 500 hockey team and where they are in the standings. So right now it's the Penguins' time to get hot. So we've been riding the Penguins.
Pens are currently sitting 3 points back of the Capitals, who are holding the second wild card spot there. Detroit got the same amount of points at 82, but they obviously have played one more game as well. I was going to ask you guys your thoughts on the wild card race here, but we have more games to get to as well that kind of include this. But that's interesting. So Penguins to make the playoffs, so Money, that's what you're adding to the card at this point.
Yeah, I played that the other day. And yeah, I think that number is off, especially with the Penguins. They should close a nice favorite in this game. And if they do, then they're favored to be 1 point out of the playoffs after tonight, and 1 point out of the playoffs at plus 550. That's off.
Yeah. Russ, let's go to a game here that no one wanted to watch me drink eggs to, and probably feels like this might be a low event hockey type of game. That would be the Boston Carolina game, where Carolina is hosting -150. The Bruins are plus 141. You can find that price available at Stacks, and we're seeing 5.5s across the board here for this game. What is it that you're thinking here tonight when you look at this one, and why is it that you have a bet for us tonight, Russ?
Yep, sort of been looking for a spot to fade this Bruins team the last couple of weeks or so, and I think this is a good spot to do it. So we're going to go ahead and lay the number with the Hurricanes at home. A little bit of a steep price, but I still think it is a little bit short. Probably could be closer to -170, and my numbers have this closer to -180. So we're getting some value here, and I don't expect this moves a ton more. I think it's already moved 10 points or so from -140-ish. So I think -150 is a good play on the Hurricanes. I probably would not want to play the regulation. I'd want that full game, overtime included. So I will lay the -150 here. A couple different things. I have the Hurricanes rated quite higher than the Bruins in their recent play. I think the Bruins have been getting good goaltending, top 10 in goaltending save percentage over the last month, but they've slipped a little bit on offense, and their defense has not been wonderful either. And you're getting a Hurricanes team who's pretty much top 5 in every metric you can look at. They were struggling in the goaltending department, and then they got Frederik Andersen back, who's just been playing out of his mind lately. First in goals saved, above average, above expectation over the last month or so. Swayman is 36 in the same metric, so they will easily have the advantage in net tonight. Carolina is just a very, very solid home team, 25-9 at home. So I think this number is a little bit short. You're looking at a team that I've been trying to fade against a team that I love to back at home in the Hurricanes. So minus 150, I think, is a good price to play one of the best teams in the league here against a team that has been struggling a little bit. So yeah, we laid it with the Hurricanes. I think minus 150. I don't think it should move too much other than that. So get it locked in probably now, or I don't think it's actually that big a deal. It has moved from like minus 145, so minus 150, minus 155 is a good play.
There's a bunch of minus 150s out there right now as well, but as Russ had mentioned, we are kind of seeing it move a little bit towards the minus 155, minus 160. Before I go to So Money here for his thoughts on this, pardon the language, but Charles, fuck off. I'm not doing all 3 games if there's a 3-way tie. There's no shot. That's not happening. Don't even put that into the universe, because I'm going to have Rob and Moretto being like, you know what? That might be a good idea. So no, none of that. That's not happening. We're not doing 3-way ties all 3 games. You guys got to come to a conclusion. If there's a 3-way tie, then it goes to Twitter, and then Twitter can decide the final. And then if it's a 2-way tie after that, then I don't know. Moretto can make final call or something. But there's no all 3 games. So Money, what are your thoughts on this Carolina Boston game? And do you have any opinion on sides or totals?
I won't. Excuse me. I won't have a bet in this game. I do agree that Carolina is clearly the better team. But the problem is that they're currently priced as being clearly the better team as well. Right. So if we're looking at the minus 150, minus 155, how much more should they be at this point? Right. So that's kind of where I struggle with this game. So I think it's lined correctly. In that range right now is where they should be. So for that reason, I'll pass. But I do agree that right now, the way that these teams are playing, Carolina is clearly the better team.
All right. I see a comment in the chat here that is very, very valid for what's going on. There are just not enough likes on the stream right now. There's not less than a third of the people watching have hit the like button. It's just not enough. So if you guys can hit that like button and up those numbers, we would greatly appreciate it here. We're putting out content Monday through Friday. We've been having a little bit of a downturn here over the last little while, but we're going to get it back on track, and we're still up on the year. I mean, we go 1-1 last night. We lose the smaller play that we had. We cash a plus money bet there. We're at 323, 345, and 13 on the season. 681 bets, a 1.6% ROI. We're up 11.4 units. Like, come on, get those likes up here on today's stream.
Get it together, people. Let's go.
Yeah, dial in, smash the like button, hammer the like button here as part of the Hammer Betting Network. Now, final game that you guys were looking at ahead of time for bets that you were interested in would be in the Columbus Islanders game. Columbus plus 170 here right now. We're seeing the Islanders minus 177 and some 5.5, some 6s, some 6.5s actually as well, depending on what books you're looking at for this game. Russ, what's your opinion on this one? And you got another bet for us?
Yes, we do have one here. This is about as disgusting as I will get on this show, but I'm not sure in what world the Islanders should be minus 190 favorites on the road to any team in this league. So we played the Blue Jackets plus 170. I think is a very generous price here. I have this number nowhere near this line. So I think that, plus 170 is such a good number. Honestly, some of the numbers down at FanDuel and closer to minus 150 are probably more reasonable, but, we'll take that extra 20 cents of value. This Islanders team, they've won 2 in a row against pretty average teams in Chicago and Philadelphia. And for some reason, they're opening as minus 200 favorites on the road here. They're 4-8 in their last 12 games. You're getting a Blue Jackets team, who I'll admit, if you look at some of these metrics, they are not good, not a good team. You can play the clip if you want. It's not super
okay.
disgusting. It's not like a plus 200 like those guys do on the Tuesday show. But I think plus 170 is a great number here. As I said, this Blue Jackets team, they have struggled despite the last 2 games. They've played very well the last 2 games. Other than that, you look at some of their metrics, and they are ugly. Bottom 10 in the league easily. Other than save percentage, they're getting pretty good goaltending. And you look at a guy, Daniil Tarasov, who has clearly won the job. He's second in goals saved above expectation over the last month or so. Kind of willing this team to have a little bit of fight. And you've seen it in the last 2 games. They beat the Avs fairly easily. So I don't know. This number is just way too long for me here. Anytime this happens, I'll easily take the underdog, especially at home against the Islanders team, who you never know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to get. This Islanders team, this is their 3rd game in 4 nights. They could be overlooking this game very easily. They could have, tired legs. So all of that said, I think this plus 170 is outrageous, way too high of a number. So I think the Blue Jackets at home, big dog. So that's the way we're going to go. Plus 170 on the Jackets.
You're disgusting, Russ. Disgusting.
I couldn't believe this number, though. And that's what my first thought was like, yeah, these Tuesday guys are going to be pumped.
So, Money, what are your thoughts on this game here tonight? And does this make sense to you, this handicap?
It makes sense, but I think Russ is absolutely filthy here.
Yeah.
Who are these Blue Jackets, right? Like they go in, they beat Pittsburgh, they beat Colorado. So then this would be the situation where they lay the egg, right, against the Islanders. But then, like Russ said, like you're not gonna lay that number on the Islanders. Like that's just ridiculous at this point, right? So while I don't know what I'm gonna get out of Columbus, what I do know is that there's no way I'm betting the Islanders in this game. So I do like the look. I think at plus 170, I think it's good. I'm probably going to lay off this game as well, unless I need. I feel I need to provide some moral support for my brother. Then I'll bet. then I'll bet Columbus as well. But yeah, I think that I'll probably lay off this game. I just both of these teams they drive me nuts. They're just high variance between these teams, and I can see this game going anywhere. And if you're going to have that kind of volatility in a game, I'd rather have a plus 170 ticket in my pocket with that kind of chaos. So
yeah,
let's go Blue Jackets, and it'll be better for our Penguins ticket as well. So yeah.
All right. The update here on the poll as we've gone through the games that you guys were looking at ahead of time. And we'll open things up here. And if people have questions in the chat, you can fire them away here and we'll try to answer those before we close out. But just a quick update. If you want to get your votes in, if you haven't already, right now, the game that is most selected, the leader, the Tampa-Montreal game, which is just wonderful. I'll be wearing the Habs jersey, watching that with backup goaltenders and battling through there. So that's the leader. If you haven't already, get your votes in. But one of the best tweets that I've seen in response to this challenge that we're doing, trying to put out the poll, make sure everyone gets their votes in. This guy Andy at IU Schmeltz says hammering the under on the winner, because you know that's just naturally how that would go. We're going to talk this big game about how many goals are going to be scored, and we're going to get 12 eggs drank and all this stuff, and it's going to finish 2-1 or 2-0 or something. So that's just the way it'll go in terms of the content, but you'll have to be tuned in either way. Make sure to get those votes in. So, Money, we went through all the games that you guys had bets in. You did kind of reveal there a future that you're looking at when it comes to the Penguins making the playoffs. Is there anything else that you're looking at right now on the board today? You're waiting for it to open up a little bit. You're waiting for news, waiting for injuries, maybe waiting for goalies. Is there any other futures that you're holding back pocket right now that you might want to share with the class?
The only futures that I bet the last week or so I've shared them was Tampa Bay East and Pittsburgh to make the playoffs. So other than that, I don't have anything right now. I'm looking at this Calgary Winnipeg game. Speaking of getting disgusting, I'm still on the fade Winnipeg train, but um, I just can't get there on Calgary. They're another one of those teams where similar to Columbus, you just don't know what you're going to expect, and I kind of suspect that they've mailed it in for the season, but it's not something that I necessarily need to bet on. So I'll end up passing there. The other one is the Blues. Um, Nashville, we all know about the Redditors and like Nashville this and that, and they're gonna beat the Canucks in the first round, and they're gonna sweep the Canucks and all that garbage that I hear every day. But the thing is that they shouldn't be laying this number though, right? Even even against a Blues team that yes, the Blues do suck, um, but they shouldn't be laying that number. So um, we need that to get a little bit higher. If the Blues get to the plus 165, 168 range, that's where I'll be on the Blues. But as of right now, those are the games that we're looking at. The Blues are closer, but I'm not there yet right now.
So you're flirting with the idea of being disgusting today, but not quite there. That's
Flirting with it. I got
not enough commitment.
yeah. Russ has provided me some inspiration here.
Russ, are there any other games that you're looking at? You came firing here, 3 plays this morning, but anything else on the board among the other 6 games? It's like piquing interest, maybe, or just that's it, 3 and nothing else is kind of coming up.
That's pretty much it. I think there are a couple of dogs on the card that are semi-interesting. As so many said, I think that Blues number probably is a touch high. The Blues have been playing pretty damn good hockey lately, trying to make a push to the playoffs, and actually played pretty well and had some really good goaltending. So I think that probably is a little bit high. Not enough for me to get involved. It's actually right on about market for me, but my gut says it's a little high. The other one is this Florida Panthers Ottawa Senators game is a very interesting game as well, especially if the Panthers have Verhaeghe and Kachuk out again. I think anybody else on the road here, I'd probably be playing against the Panthers, but I hate this Sens team. I've tried to play on them a couple times the last couple weeks, and I can't get there. And this number seems about right. It's maybe a touch, probably 130, 135. It's maybe about right. But yeah, I was looking at this overnight and I was thinking if you could get the Sens plus 150, 155, I think that would be a good play. Clearly nowhere close to that. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I think Montreal is another dog look where, especially when you're getting Jonas Johansson, but that's already taken money. They're all the way down to -1 or plus 130 now, plus one from like plus 145 or 150 yesterday. So, the market kind of agrees with me there, but interesting. It's an interesting day where I feel like there's quite a few live dogs, and with 2 weeks to go in the season, this late in the playoff push, honestly, anything could happen. I think that's part of the reason behind my disgusting Blue Jackets play. But like you said, came out firing 3 plays, 2 of them fairly decent favorites, and then one of them a huge dog, just disgusting. So that's enough for me today. Other than that, I probably will not play anything else. I'll be watching the Habs Lightning game and hoping for a 5-5 tie in the third period.
You're disgusting and a scumbag, Russ. There you go. Well, that'll do it for today's show and today's bets. We appreciate everyone who tuned in. I'll give another minute or so here for people to get their votes in the poll if they haven't already while we recap today's picks. And again, if you want to see all the picks that we've given out on the show throughout the whole year, if you want to just see it day by day, however it is that you want to see it, if you want to just verify what it is that we're betting and what numbers we're betting it at, you can head over to the BetSamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ, and that's where you can find all of our picks. As for today's, we've got 3 best bets lined up. We're going to start with the Penguins money line, -108 there against the Washington Capitals. That'll hurt our Carberry futures for sure, so that's tough. But, for the sake of the show and for you guys here, Penguins money line, -108, we'll be rooting for that. Hurricanes money line against the Bruins -150. And finally, Russ finally jumped into the pig pen and decided he was going to get disgusting. The Blue Jackets +170 money line against the New York Islanders. Those are our 3 best bets for tonight's games. If you haven't already, subscribe here to the channel, turn on notifications. We appreciate the support, all the people who continue to come back here on a regular basis. Very loyal following and viewers and listeners, whether you're consuming on podcast. There's a lot of people who listen on podcasts. We thank you guys very much for the support. Hope you guys continue to do that and stick with us, even though it's been a little bit of a downturn for some of the results that we've got over basically the last month and a half or so. But we feel it'll come back, and we're confident in that. So make sure to be subscribed here and continue to follow moving forward. Tonight, we've got the live stream, the live watch along. The results are in. The game we will be following, because why not, is the Tampa-Montreal game. Every goal scored in the Tampa-Montreal game here tonight, I will be drinking a raw egg live on camera. You can follow Moretto and I here. We're not going to start at the very beginning of the game, but I will drink all the eggs accounted for, the goals that for when we start. Probably be around the late second period and then into the third period, and then we'll catch up on all the eggs for all the goals that have been scored to the end of the game. We'll have maybe some live bets. We'll have bets for the later games. You can find people from all the way across the Edgework show hopping in throughout as well. And yeah, this is just going to be a nightmare game for me if Nick Suzuki and Yuri Slavkovsky have themselves an incredible game here tonight, because I'm going to have to deal with Moretto. I'm going to be wearing a Habs jersey, and I'm going to have to drink eggs for the goals. So that'll be tough. We appreciate everyone who tuned in here today. Thank you guys very much. Russ, So Money, the cleanup crew, thank you boys for the input, the insights as always. We appreciate it. We'll see So Money back here tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Russ, we'll see you back here next week. As for everyone else in the chat, enjoy the games tonight. We'll see you later on for the watch along. Good luck in your bets.